Okay. OneDrive, nagi po yung problem sa OneDrive, no? Sayang ako mga lectures. Okay, so after this, we're going to have a quiz. So, listen well. Okay. So, start na ta. Are you ready? Okay na mo? Hello. Hello. Hello, good morning. Okay. Good morning again, once again, C207. So for this time, I will be introducing to you the lessons we have for Module 2. We have Behavioral Analysis by B.F. Skinner, Social Cognitive Learning Theory by Albert Bandura, Cognitive Development Theory by John Piaget, and we have Moral Development Theory by Lawrence Kohlberg. So this will be the theories that we'll be discussing for Module 2. Okay? So for this week, we will focus to Behavioral Analysis by B.F. Skinner. So again, makinig kayo because after this, we're going to have a quiz and that will be identification. So listen well to my discussion. Okay? Let's read the quote by B.F. Skinner. So in your own interpretation, how does it resonate to you, or how do you interpret it? Sige nga. Paano niyo siya naintindihan? How do you understand it? Hello? Ano lang, personal yun lang na pagkakaintindi sa quote na yan. Hindi naman ako sabihin na mali yung sagot. How do you understand it? Very powerful, no? Sabi ni Skinner. Sige nga. How do you understand it? Sige, tawag tayo. Christian, ikaw, how do you understand it?
Based on my understanding, so it means begin child will shape him into anything, which means he will improve the child and shape him into anything like unique person, something like that.
Okay, thank you for that, Christian. So, it tells us, class, that in behavioral analysis, we are looking in the environment. So, if ever our behaviors is not determined by past experiences, it is not determined by our emotions, though considered din naman ngayon, it's really about your present decision making. You have knowledge and consciousness of your behavior. So, we could always change how we behave. We could always improve how we behave. So it tells us no other factors, no unconsciousness, no past issues, daddy issues man yan, mga trauma ninyo, hindi natin kinoconsider siya sa behaviorism. So ano nga yung first force of psychology? First forces we have psychodynamic. Second forces we have behaviorism. And the third force we have humanistic. Okay. So remember that one, ha? So here are some tenets of behavioral analysis by B.F. Skinner. He minimized speculation and focused almost entirely on observable behavior. So what does it mean? He focused more on what is observed readily in the eye, what is overt behavior. He does not study more of the emotions, the motivations, the inner drive, but more of what is being observed by the human eye only. So we have the term called radical behaviorism. It's a doctrine that avoids all hypothetical constructs such as the ego traits, drives, needs, hunger, and so forth. So for radical behaviorism, it tells us that the environment is the main determinant of your behavior, not wala nang iba pa. So, for me, it's kind of scientific din kasi yung theory niya. Kasi, hindi tayo nag-base lang sa mga speculations, kumbaga, may scientific basis, may mga experimentations na ginawa. Environment only can affect behavior. People are engineered by their environment, according to behaviorism. Skinner can rightfully be regarded as a determinist and an environmentalist at the same time. So he can be determinist and environmentalist. So Skinner was primarily interested in the experimental analysis of behavior because kasi sa behaviorism kasi or sa behavioral analysis, mini-measure natin through science yung behavior. Hindi tayo nagbe-base lang sa hypothesis or sa mga consciousness, unconscious, preconscious, whatsoever. We are basing it from what is being observed and studied. So he used many types of experiments. Yun yung ginamit ni Skinner and other behaviorists sa science na yan, no? What is being observed, how we could change that one. Okay, next is Skinner was primarily interested in the experimental analysis. He sought to identify those environmental variables that can control the emission of behavior, namely situational. So let's read this tenet. Humans are neither
environment. Human behavior, like any other natural phenomena, is subject to the law of science, and that psychologists should not attribute inner motivations to it.
Yeah. So, we cannot be subjective. Ang science kasi na ginagamit dito sa behaviorism, it strives to somehow demystify or aalis tayo dun sa mga previous na theories na puro speculations and theories lang. May mga drives, may mga iba't ibang traits, but we are just basing it from science, from the environment. How does it affect a human person? So sa behaviorism class, talagang environment and behavior. Kay Bandura naman, iba. Tatlo yung kay Branduyan. Yung triadic reciprocal model. Sige, balik tayo. You have questions so far? Again, wala tayong tititingnan na past experiences, puro present lahat, no? Lahat is a function of the environment. Next, we have some precursors of Skinner's behaviorism. Skinner is not actually the father of behaviorism. Who is the father of behaviorism? Ha? Sino yung father? Si Ivan Pavlov. Okay, he's no. It's not actually Pavlov. It's John B. Watson. Okay? He's the father of behaviorism within psychology. He studied both animals and humans and became convinced that the concepts of consciousness and introspection must play no role in the scientific study of human behavior. So, ang theory niya is stimulus-response connection. Familiar kayo doon? SR. There is a stimuli and there is a response. No? So when you do this, and when it happened to you, ito yung response mo. Ganun ka-basic, no? That is by John B. Watson. And Edward Thorndike, he emphasized the importance of reinforcement and punishment in behavior, in shaping behavior. Okay? Sabi niya, meron din siyang principle of law of effect. So it states that behaviors that led to satisfying outcomes are likely to be repeated, whereas behaviors that led to undesired outcomes are less likely to recur. So sa law of effect, tinitingnan natin dito yung effect ng behavior na yun sa atin. So can you give me an example how law of effect can happen to you? Example daw. JV, example. Law of effect. Mm-hmm. Okay. Very good. And vice versa din. Kung positive din, no? So, kapag positive yung interaction mo with this person, it gives you satisfaction, then more likely you will repeat talking with that person. That is the law of effect, no? So, nabibase siya dun sa outcome, if it does satisfy you or not. Okay, that is for Thorndike, no? Next, let's try to understand the Little Albert experiment. Ito kasi dati, na-curious sila. Bakit kahit i-expose mo si Little Albert sa mga animals or kung ano-ano mga stimuli, hindi siya natatakot, walang fear. So, pinag-eksperimentuhan nila si Little Albert. No? Ngayon kasi, unethical na to, no? Hindi tayo gumagamit ng mga human species, especially minors, sa mga ganitong klaseng experiment. So, ang ginawa nila is in-exposed, nag-pair up siya ng conditioned stimulus. So, example nito is, yung white rat, since takot si Little Albert dito sa sound, sa loud sound, pinipaired niya with the white rat. Ito kasi, hindi mo na kailangan kasi this is unconditioned eh. Ito yung conditioned mo. Gusto mong isabay siya para masanay, magkaroon ng conditioning, and kahit yung white rat na lang, matatakot siya. Gets ba ninyo, class? That is conditioning. Ginasabay ni mo siya, katong butang na originally fearful siya. Okay? Then up until such extent na approximations, paulit-ulit, yung white rat na lang, then matakot siya. Okay? Do you understand? Klaro ba? Okay, so that's why mo nang idea of conditioning, class. No? That is conditioning. Okay, yung classical conditioning naman is yung sa salivation of dogs. I'll give you an example later. Have you read the chapter of Nagbasa mo? Ha? Yes or no? Hello? Nag-read mo gamay? Okay, sige, okay. So now let's go to, since we have mentioned about scientific or science sa behaviorism, Skinner insisted that human behavior should be studied scientifically. Skinner insisted that psychology must avoid internal mental factors and confine itself only to observable physical events only. So, as a science, we could say that behavior, there is an interpretation, but there is no explanation of its causes. Like, what happened to you, like you're being like this, it's because it's you, no? We cannot attribute something why it happened to you. If we have trauma before, that's not behaviorism. Okay? That is psychodynamic. You want to explain ngano kaing ana why you are being maladaptive, you cannot do that in scientific behaviorism. It's only because you're doing this. And it gives us accountability, di ba? Of our behaviors. We cannot blame other people for how we act or how we behave. Di ba? That's why for me, it's a huge slap on our faces that it gives us accountability also to our behaviors and how we ended up to become a person like this. We can't blame our parents for being like this type of person. We have hold in our behaviors, no? How we play with our emotions. Okay? So, for me, I think I have a bias sa behaviorism. Hindi siya masyado ganun ka-merciful. Tingin niya sa mga tao, di ba? There is an idea of punishment as well to modify that behavior. Okay? For addictive cases like substance use, gambling, disorders, ginagamit natin sa behavioral therapy. Okay, next. Let's proceed na to the next part. So let's try to differentiate classical and operant conditioning. Okay, classical conditioning. Remember, classical, behavior is elicited or produced from the organism. Okay? We produce behavior from the organism. Okay? Remember that one. Explain natin to para mas madali sa inyo. Okay. Okay, this one. Classical conditioning, behavior is elicited or produced from the organism, which means that what happened here? Anong nangyayari dyan? There is a neutral or conditioned stimulus that is being paired immediately with an unconditioned stimuli. Okay? So, sa classical conditioning, pinipaired up natin yung neutral stimulus with an unconditioned stimuli. Example, reflexive behaviors. Yung salivation of dogs. No? Later, I will show you that example. Here we are. So, you can see here, there is an unconditioned stimulus here, which is the food. Which means na wala kayong ginawa. No? Pag unconditioned siya, nag-elicit na siya ng behavior kahit wala kayong gawin. Hindi mo na siya pwede or hindi mo na kailangang i-manipulate pa. So at first, there is an unconditioned response from the dog. Okay? So, of course, yung unconditioned response, yun na yung behavior niya, response niya doon. Gusto mong i-train or i-condition yung aso na magkakaroon siya ng response sa pito, no? So sinasabay mo yung pito tsaka yung pagbigay ng pagkain sa pag-present niyo sa dog, no? That's why nagkakaroon ng conditioning. Pini-pair up mo siya, yung unconditioned stimulus and yung neutral stimulus. Neutral kasi wala siyang effect sa person or sa hayop or sa organism. So you're pairing that up and up until it can elicit the conditioned response already. Kahit tanggalin mo man ito, yung pagkain, yung pito na lang, the person or the dog or the animal can still elicit that behavior. Elicit, ha? Elicit, L, that behavior. Do you understand? Okay? So that is classical conditioning. Now let's go to operant conditioning. Well, I guess it was Pavlov, di ba? Kay Pavlov to, di ba? So ginamit niya yung, I think, dogs. Si Watson's dove, ang ginamit niya na experimentation. And si Skinner, ano yung ginamit niya? Mice? Pwede ba ito magdalag iro diri class? Dili man, no? Alam niyo mag-class activity, manggod. Kana gani mga animal trainings, mga ingana ba, no? Tanaw na to kung how do they respond ba with the, ano, no? Dili pwede, no? Kanang gamay, no? Dili pwede. Kung namoy doggy-doggy sa balay ninyo. Wala. Sayang magod. It's a good activity ba? Animal training unta. Well, anyways. So, ato na ta diri sa next, operant conditioning. So, operant conditioning, the main proponent of this is Skinner. Okay? It is a type of associative learning process through which the strength of a behavior is modified by either it's either reinforcement or punishment. So what happens here, there is rewards through reinforcement that will increase the likelihood of that behavior, and there is punishment which will decrease that likelihood of that behavior to occur. So basically, there are still other subtypes of reinforcement and punishment. I will be discussing that later on to you. So, punta tayo doon na part, ha? So we have reinforcement. So again, what happens? What we do in reinforcement? Anong ginagawa? Yeah. Strengthen the behavior, increase its likelihood to happen again. So we give what? Rewards. Okay. So if you're going to listen to me, you're going to respond, then I'll give you plus points. Something like that. So it gives you a benefit. No? So positive reinforcement, any stimulus that when added to a situation, increase the probability of that behavior. I'll show you some example of this one. So we're adding something pleasant to increase the likelihood of that behavior. Now, let's go to examples. A child cleans their room and gets a candy. Basic, no? Simple as that. An employee finishes a project and receives a bonus. So, there is reward. Now, let's go to negative reinforcement. So, when I say negative, what we do? May tinatanggal tayo. Sa positive, may ina-add tayo. Gets nyo ba? Okay? Again po, no? Sa positive, may ina-add tayo. Sa negative, may ano? May removal. Yes, no? So, we're removing something unpleasant to increase a behavior. Example, a driver fastens their seatbelt to stop the car's beeping sound. Okay? A student studies hard to avoid being scolded by their teacher. So that is negative reinforcement. Okay? So removing something unpleasant or dissatisfying for that person or animal or whatsoever. Next, let's go to punishment. So, di ba, we have mentioned about punishment. It decreases the likelihood of a behavior to occur, di ba? So, in punishment, we are adding something unpleasant to decrease the behavior. So, example, a child touches a hot stove and feels the pain. So, what will the child do? After this, what do you think? I-touch kaya po niya? Dili na i-touch, no? So, well, depende kung naa siya ASD or autism spectrum. We cannot know. A student talks back and gets extra chores from their parents. So, that is positive punishment. Next, let's go to negative punishment. Can I ask you to stop using their phones? Just focus with the class. People at the back, let's listen with the lecture, no? So sa negative punishment, we're taking away something pleasant to decrease a behavior. So what we do here, example is, may tinatanggal tayo, no? Na gusto natin para bawasan ng person or tanggalin niya yung behavior na yon. Example is, a teenager breaks curfew and their parents take away their phone. A child misbehaves during dinner and dessert is taken away. And an employee shows up late repeatedly and management removes their work from home privilege. So, do you understand the 4 types? Negative reinforcement. This one. Taking painkillers to remove a headache, encouraging using medicine again in the future. So, we are removing something that is not good or satisfying with that person for you to increase that behavior. So, basically, may ginagawa ka, no, para mawala or matanggal yung dissatisfying experience mo. So, let's say, for you not to experience cramps. So you try to work out more, eat more healthy foods. That is negative reinforcement. So may tinatanggal ka, ay hindi pala, no? May tinatanggal ka para mag-increase yung behavior natin. So tatanggalin mo, let's say, let's think of other examples of it, no? Okay. Example will be removing something, no? Example can be sa pagkain, no? So, tinatanggal mo yung pagkain ng hindi healthy na pagkain. Okay, let's think of other example. Basta ang ano kasi nito class, si negative punishment is may tinatanggal ka. Si reinforcement is for you to increase that behavior. Ayan. So I guess the best way for you to really understand it is through examples. Punishment. Punishment, kay reduce man ang behavior. So punishment, positive punishment siya, no? Kana. Nako example aning negative reinforcement, nakalimot lang iko sa akong head about siya sa class puding ana. Ito lang kasi naisip ko na example. Maraming talaga example din pwede, no? Sige daw, can you think of other examples of negative reinforcement? You're removing something to increase that behavior. Tapos? So more likely, increase din mo itong mag-wake up ka para dili saba ang alarm clock na magsigig sa mga sulsul sa mga. Yeah, I guess that is an example of negative reinforcement. Yeah. Okay, question so far? Other questions? Now let's go to shaping. Shaping. So shaping is a concept under operant conditioning. What we do in shaping is we provide rewards, then gross approximations of that behavior, then closer approximations, and finally the desired behavior itself. So example ako ani is a baby when they try to speak words, they try to mum, diba? First, boy. Tapos, up until makuha nila ang word. So, that's what we do. Or, I mean, that's what they perform, no? Up until gross approximations, paulit-ulit, no? Up until makuha na ang desired behavior. And same also with animal trainings. So, kung ginapaduol nimo siya, ang organism, sa kato na behavior. Even, paulit-ulit, no? Up until makuha na to niya itong accurate behavior yun. So we have ABCs of behavior, antecedent, behavior, and consequences. So for us to better understand it, we have antecedent, what happens before the behavior. It's the trigger or the cue. We have the B or the behavior, the actual action or response, and C, the consequence, what happens after the behavior, which influence whether you will do it or not. So, can you give an example of A, B, and C? Antecedent, behavior, and consequence by Skinner. Sige daw, hatagin akong example class. Sige daw. Ken, baka meron kang example ng ABC dito. Okay? Yes, sige. So, once nag-cutting ang bata, no, the actual action or response, then the consequence is masakpan sila. So, there is a negative consequence. So, what happens here, it won't happen again or he will not do it again. So, simple as that, no, ABC. Lahi po ng ABC ni, ni Bandura. So, bisig maano lang po mo later on. So, any examples po? Teacher asks question. Behavior. The student raises hands and answers. Consequence, teacher praises the student. So more likely, they will increase the chance that they will answer again based from the consequence. Okay? So, example po, no, boss sets a deadline. Behavior. Employee submits a report on time. Consequence, employees gets recognition or bonus. Class, in behaviorism, there is what we call as observational learning. No? It's a learning process by which what is being observable in the human eye, that is the main concept of behaviorism, observational learning. We learn through seeing or viewing other people, and we learn through that. Okay, let's go to extinction. Operant discrimination, stimulus generalization, and extinction. Operant discrimination example of it is there is nala siya particular good na specific word or iingon, dili siya ma-generalize ba? In other words, a dog that has learned to say sit in order to receive a treat, but the dog will not respond to it when you say bit. So there's still discrimination or filter gihapon. You had to say the exact word of what is being trained on that dog or person. So dili siya basta-basta lang ma-activate. Diba? No? That is operant discrimination. Gets ba ninyo? Particular siya kung unsang response ang inyong ginahatag. Next, stimulus generalization. A college student purchases a ticket for a rock concert performed by a group, and she has neither seen nor heard, but one she has been told is similar to her favorite rock group. So, the tendency of a previously acquired response is to become progressively weakened upon non-reinforcement. So, once you stop the reinforcers, you stop it, no, more likely mag-weaken po ang behavior later on. So basically, without that reinforcement, wala na yung ma-elicit na behavior. And that is also part of extinction as well. So for extinction, when an experimenter systematically withholds reinforcements of a previously learned response until the probability of that response diminishes to zero. So behavior trained on an intermittent schedule is much more resistant to extinction. So for extinction, it seldomly happens, but when we stop giving reinforcements with that particular thing, no, or person, then the chance that that response or that behavior will occur again, mawawala na siya. 'Di ba? No? Pag wala ka nang nabibigay, mawawala na. Pag nawala na yung ganong reward that you get, yung external reward, more likely mag-extinction na siya or operant extinction din yung term na yun. Questions? Okay, ha? Kaya mo gawas na sa akong quiz later. Okay? Okay, stimulus, no? Again, Ang stimulus, there is a response to a similar environment with the absence of previous reinforcement. So, di ba, na-example here. So, there is an environment, same environment, concert. Then, what happens is wala pa niya to na dunggan, no? Ang tendency is the acquired response to become weakened upon non-reinforcement. So, kumbaga, somehow, pag naay similar scenario class na ma-expose na pud ka, more likely, somehow it can be generalized ba? Ma-apply pud siya sa laing similar and situations. Okay? So, a response to a similar environment in the absence of the previous reinforcement. So, in other words, kapag similar, ang isa ka situation or context, it can also be applied to that similar or same context atong na-experience nimo sa una na nawalaan siya og reinforcement. That's why mag-weaken pod ang response upon non-reinforcement. So, it's more about the context lang. But extinction is really more of withholding that reinforcement from that previously learned response. Gets?
Sir, ang example sa stimulus, sir, ang bahay, tong grade 12, sir, kay you're used to na ka ng friends mo sa isang classroom, sir. Nag-expect ka na same gyapon sa college. So, less ang inyong work expectations.
Kay similar man po siya context, diba? Kay sa room, sa classroom man po siya setting po. Kana. Okay. Sige. Example, that's a good one, no? Next, let's go to schedules of reinforcement. So here, medyo haba gid ang theory gyud ni ni Skinner. So we have continuous schedule and intermittent schedule as well. So sa continuous, every response maghatag og reward. So or reinforcer. So this type of schedule increases the frequency of a response but more of inefficient siya pag sa reinforcement. In other words, mo ni siyang pinaka least effective. Let's say after work, after number of pieces na imong nahuman. Sa example, after validated instrument that I have finished, then I will be compensated for that. So every piece or every service, there is a compensation. That is continuous schedule. Now, let's go to intermittent. So here, upat po na siya kabuok, no? Listen lang mo para medyo masabtan po lang po nato. For the terms, fixed, ibig sabihin, definite ang time. I mean, definite siya. Definite. Kapag variable, indefinite. You don't know when will it happen again or it will be given to you. Ratio naman, it refers to responses. And interval refers to time. Ha? Please, kana lang yun. Again, fixed, definite, variable, indefinite, ratio, responses, interval is time. So let's have examples. Na examples class na para mas masabtan nato, no? Example na ko dali. Have example. I have more examples here. Okay. Okay. I think medyo masabtan lang po ninyo ni siya. Sige. But let's get back, no? So fixed ratio every 100 responses. Let's say every 100 cookies that you will be finishing na mag-bake mo, na may reward na makuhaan ana. So dili siya continuous kay ang continuous man good is every response or every hatag, no? Na dayoy reinforcement. That's why it's the most ineffective. While ang fixed ratio is naay definitive number of responses para makakuha kag reward or salary or kung unsa man na. Next, let's go to variable ratio. So, for variable ratio, indefinite ang number of times. So, you don't know when you will get a reward. So, example is slot machine or gambling. So, you don't know when will you win. It's either on the 42nd time, 63rd, 101st, No, that's why daghan pud ma-addict no sa gambling, sa mga sugal. Kinsa man ang addict diri sa gambling or mga sugal ana. Naa ba sa inyo ha? Kanang mga online ana, no? So that is variable ratio, indefinite. You don't know when will it be? When will be the reward? Next is we have fixed interval. Here is fix ang oras. Again, interval is oras, no? Kanindi ay variable ratio, it refers to your responses. Since kada ana nimo, di ba? You don't know when will be the reward. But sa interval is more of sa time. The duration. So example sa fixed interval, organism is reinforced for the first response following the designated period of time. So very good example is 15:30 sa sahod, sa salary. So you're given compensation every 15th and 30th day. So that is fixed. Fixed na siya. No? While variable interval, on the other hand, since interval, we're talking about time, we are not definite of how long or when will be that reward. Will it be on every 5 minutes, 4 days, 11 days, 4 months, 1 year, 2 years? So we don't know when will be that reward be given to us. So indefinite siya. Do you understand? Gets mo no? Again, ang fixed ratio is fix ang response, 100 na reward. Variable ratio, indefinite siya kung when, based sa imong responses. It can be on the second response, or on the 10th response, or 100th response. Fixed interval, fix or definite, ang oras, ang duration, ang number of days, when will be the reward given to you. And variable interval, we don't know when will it be given to you. It can be after 5 days, 3 weeks, 11 months, diba? That is variable interval. And which among this is the most effective? Reinforcer, schedule. Fix, ratio. Variable. Okay, actually it's variable interval. That is the most variable ratio I'm sorry. Variable ratio is considered as the most effective and resistant to extinction. Variable ratio, yeah. So because reinforcement comes after an unpredictable number of responses. So you don't know when will it be. So you just keep on doing it. You don't know when will be that reward, no? Selling it, sell ka, ganyan. Di mo alam, bakit ka tumatawa?
I mean, kasi I kind of somewhat understand. Kasi may certain games naman that mga gacha, for example, mga CSGO naman, they honestly...
Mobile Legends, no? Yung mga skin, ganyan.
Yung skins.
Yeah, I know. Ganyan din ako. You don't know when will be that reward be given to you. So, sige ka lang ganyan. So, yeah, that is, unpredictable kasi, na kung kailan, by chance lang siya. Because the reward is uncertain, organisms respond more consistently and have a higher rates. So they are also harder to extinguish because the subject never knows when the reward will come. So it keeps you doing and performing that behavior. Labi na pag nagamatter gito siya na reward for you. Okay, some forces that affect human personality in the perspective of behaviorism. Natural selections, we are engineered to survive. That's why we behave in a certain manner. Cultural evolution, affected by our culture, by our identity, no? Where we have grown. Inner states, though hindi masyadong important sa behaviorism yung mga anxiety, fear, emotions, but it plays a role, right? Next is self-awareness. You're aware of why you're doing it. You have consciousness. You have decision-making. Next are the drives. So basically, if you are deprived of, let's say, tulog or pagkain, then it can affect your behavior as well. So consider din siya na factor. Pag kulang ka ng tulog, kulang ka ng kain, or meron kang sakit, no? It affects your behavior. Emotions. Again, like what I've mentioned, hindi siya ganun ka-important factor, but it plays a role also of how we navigate our emotions, and with that, how it affects the environment and also us. Purpose and intention not subject to direct scrutiny, but all of us have an intention. Why we're doing it. What is the purpose of our behavior? Okay, so much for that. Let's go a little bit of behavior therapy.
Ano, napunta lagi.
Sir, ano daw yung difference ng ano yun?
Uy, ko nagkasunod.
Na?
Yung emotional pati yung number 2 at inner state.
Okay, sige. Explain natin, ha? Okay. Ano yun? Emotions and inner states. Okay. Ang inner states, this refers to you. Okay? It does not just about yung emotions mo, about certain things, but it could be also anxiety or fear sa loob mo. But yung emotions here is not directly connected with that behavior because emotions are always there with us. Yung inner states, this is very subjective. Kasi iba-iba tayo eh. How we deal with anxiety, how we deal with love, how we deal with fear. We are different from one another. Emotions are quite similar because we experience emotions in a certain level depende sa situations. So again, mas masasabi ko na mas subjective to, while sa emotions naman mas nangyayari talaga sa atin in a regular extent or level. Ganyan. Okay, so other questions? Okay, sige. Ano kaya sa tingin ninyo ang importance ng behavior therapy? Ikaw, Azumi, what do you think is the importance of behavior therapy? Or ano yung implications? Saan kaya na cases pwede magamit natin si behavior therapy?
Behavior therapy, sir. Like you mentioned earlier about yung addiction.
Addiction. Okay. So ang goal ni behavior therapy is, of course, to modify that behavior. Kumbaga, madagdagan yung kulang, mabawasan yung sobra. Gets niyo yun? So, behavior is the product of learning, and we are the product and the producer of the environment. So, for behavior therapy, again, ang goal natin is mabalance. Madagdagan ng kulang, mabawasan ang sobra. Okay? The focus lang is on the overt behavior. The goal is to eliminate or reduce maladaptive behaviors and learn more effective behaviors, how we could, deal with that. So to identify factors that influence behavior and find out what can be done about that problematic behavior. Also, we encourage clients to take an active and collaborative role in clearly setting treatment goals and evaluating how well these goals are being met. In behavior therapy class, we have what we call as meron tayong term na aversive therapy sa mga may problems with alcoholism. So, ang ginagawa dito, binibigyan ng substance na similar siya sa alcohol, yung isang person, but nagbibigay siya ng extreme nausea, so mahihilo yung person na yon. So, it gives a negative experience for that person not to do it again. So, that is a type of, punishment, di ba? So, yun. So, yun yung mga examples ng behavior therapy. Aversive therapy. Under kasi dyan, marami pa tayong mga types. Systematic desensitization, flooding, in vivo. Marami pa tayong mga iba't ibang mga types. But that is already in the counseling and in the psychotherapy dimension na. So, do you have questions more with... So far, ano yung mga takeaways ninyo about the behaviorism, about behavioral analysis? Kasi, di ba masyadong different siya dun sa mga na pang-discuss natin before? Ano yung mga ninyo? Ikaw, Yap, ano yung mo? Mga takeaways mo?
Richard, can you describe it in words? I'm still trying to process a lot of information right now.
Or something that nagmarka lang sa inyo, ganyan.
So, what is behavior therapy? Delusion of work?
Ha?
What is delusion of work?
Well, kasi dapat may willingness si client. Kaya hindi talaga mag-work kung walang collaboration with client. So, kung ayaw niya rin gawin yung pinapagawa sa kanya, then wala tayong magagawa. Because treatments are always available if gustuhin lang ng person. Because it's going to be challenging, it's not going to be easy, especially kapag mga habits or behaviors that are being formed na ba. Oo. So you had to really go through with the process of modification because even, di ba, lisod mo gini-change ang mga habits na-form na, di ba? So that's why we have to unlearn that behavior. And that is the tenet of behavior therapy class. Unlearning behaviors and learning effective behaviors. Unlearning maladaptive behaviors. Do you believe ba that we can unlearn some of your behaviors? Some of your habits? Ma-unlearn ba ninyo? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Sige. So, ready na mo mag-quiz?
Not really sure.
Sige, siguro, mag-study na lang sa mo, magbasa sa mo, no? Then, start na by 11:20.